My name is Father Patrick Beidelman, and I'm a priest of the Archdiocese of Indianapolis. And I grew up on the east side of Indianapolis at Holy Spirit Parish. And I'm happy today to talk to you about one of our priests of the Archdiocese who's passed away, but who was a wonderful example of a disciple of Christ in our local Catholic community. I'm happy to talk to you today about Father Kenneth Taylor, affectionately referred to as Father KT by most people in his life. Father KT is a son of Holy Angels Parish on the near northwest side of Indianapolis and served in a variety of capacities throughout our Archdiocese, both in parish ministry as an associate pastor, but also as a pastor for many years. And he also served in several other roles outside of parish life, both at an archdiocesan level as well as a national level. Father KT was somebody, if you had the chance to get to know him, who you would recognize immediately had a servant's heart. One of the things that we all knew about Father KT was that anytime anybody called at any hour of the day to be anointed for a visit to the sick, he would always drop everything and go. Having served in the downtown area and having been on the list with him of those who were called from our local hospitals, there are a number of hospitals in the downtown area, very frequently people knew that once they got to Father KT's name on the list, that they were certain he was able to come, and they would be able to help those families who had a relative who was either in the dying process or who was critically ill. That servant's heart really kind of was shown in many areas of ministry, but he had a particular heart for the sick and for the dying, and I always find that to be among the most admirable qualities for us as priests. He also was somebody who was he was very well respected. He had a good rapport among his parishioners, but he was also respected among his brother priest. He was known both locally and nationally for being a bridge builder. As the founding director of what was then called our Archdiocesan Office of Multicultural Ministry and later became our Intercultural Ministry Office, Father KT was always trying to make sure that the diversity of the church was represented in archdiocesan activities and celebrations, and was often very inviting and encouraging of those who may have felt like they didn't have a place to come to the table. And in doing so, he allowed us as church to get to know each other, to share life and ministry together, and ultimately for the bonds of love and community to be strengthened among us. And I think he was a critical voice, an instrument of God's goodness in that work. And finally, one of the things I would say that he would also have been known for was that he was a man of real joy. He had a very, very distinctive and high-pitched and loud laugh. So frequently when we were at gatherings, when people would be kind of laughing at something that was funny or laughing as a community, his voice and his laugh rose above everyone else's, and you knew that he was there. You knew he was in the room. And I think that's so critical in the times in which we live, that as people of faith, we've got to be able to reflect the hope and the joy that we have over our faith in our daily lives and in all of our interactions. And especially, and I think this is where we can ask his prayers from his place in the next life, we definitely need examples and people like Father KT in a world that is so polarized now, where people focus on what divides us rather than what unites us. He was an embodiment of bringing people together, which is so critical for our understanding of who God calls us to be as Catholics, as people of communion with God and communion with others. And so I'm happy to be able to have known Father KT And I pray that his legacy of service, of bridge building, and of joy continues in our local church.